DC's first trailer for Wonder Woman 1984 gives us a good idea for what to expect of the movie, from new villains to the return of Steve Trevor. Although we are yet to see Barbara Ann Minerva, played by Kristen Wiig, in her cheetah form. Another interesting thing about the trailer was sneak peek at Wonder Woman's new eagle armor. So today we are going to discuss all you need to know about her new costume and weapons upgrade, and why does she need these upgrades in the first place. So let's get this video started.
Oh, I don't think you've ever known a woman like me. You know, it's true what they say about little boys. Born with no natural inclination to share.
The first trailer for Wonder Woman 1984 gave us the long-awaited first look at Diana Prince's latest adventure. The trailer showcased the film's 1980s setting in an era of absurd and delightful ways, while also teasing the conflict between Diana and Maxwell Lord, played by Pedro Pascal. Much of the trailer showed Diana in her signature red, blue and gold costume, but towards the end, we got a look at her newest costume in a pretty epic way. We see Diana donning an all-gold suit of armor complete with wings, which she somehow sheds off before blocking a bullet with her bracelets. The introduction of new Amazon armor has left some people wondering, where did Wonder Woman manage to find this badass armor in the first place? As we know, she can't return back to her home island of Themyscira, but that said, in trailers we do see some sorts of Themyscira, which might just be flashbacks, or maybe movie really finds a clever way to take us back there. But whatever the case be, one thing is sure, that the backstory given to this new armor will beat the comic book version, since the Golden Age armor, as it is called in the comics, is just a suit of gold armor, and that's it. It has no special superpower other than the fact that it is a battle armor made for the Amazonian. But it isn't the armor that tells the story, but the fact that Diana hardly wears any to begin with. So when she does armor up with massive metal wings and a big helm, we know for sure that the upcoming fight is going to test her. Even if it doesn't actually, since she, is the Wonder Woman. In the comics, the suit of armor was originally made for Wonder Woman's mother, and the armor came with sandals of Hermes and the gauntlet of Atlas. The sandals gave her the powers of flight, whereas the gauntlet of Atlas boosted her powers by 10 times. And it is plausible that we might get to see both of them in the movies too. And maybe Wonder Woman is already wearing this new gauntlet in the trailer, but we will have to wait for the movie to know for sure. Another thing to point out here is the fact that Wonder Woman can't yet fly in the movies, unlike in the comics. In the trailers we see her using the lightning and her lasso to swing into flight, and that makes sense from a point that Zeus, the god of lightning, is actually her father. But again, this Amazon-made armor is just armor and does no more than providing protection to the wearer, which makes us wonder why DC is introducing it in the second movie, as it is one of the most obvious questions. If plate of armor was on the table, why this is the first time we are seeing it? First Wonder Woman movie required Diana to deflect every bullet sent her way, as we saw her march into the no man's land. So a suit of armor would have been more than a little handy. And not to mention her leaving the island to kill Ares. So if armor was on the island, why didn't her mother allow her to take it with her? There might be a simple reason behind that. Maybe that armor was lost, which somehow gets found in some archaeological discovery in the recent times. And given the fact that Barbara Ann Minerva is actually an archaeologist by profession, it makes much more sense that this is what might be the case. And to finally fight Cheetah towards the third act of the movie, Wonder Woman might end up using her former friend's own discovery to defeat her. Which brings us to the question, why does Diana need an armor to fight Cheetah, since we know she is more than capable of taking on anything that there is without any armor? As in Batman v Superman, she shows up to fight Doomsday in her normal Amazonian costume, rather than this elaborate armor. To answer that, we need to know a bit more about the villain Cheetah. While Cheetah may resemble a human-cat hybrid, her origins in the comics have been tied to the mystical, magical and supernatural. And I have already done a separate video on that. The link will be in the upper right corner. Since Cheetah's powers are boosted by magic, Diana could visibly need an extra protection to resist it. However, that explanation for Barbara's curse offers the most likely reason for Diana's suit-up. But there might be a more interesting reason, and that has to do with the fact that she gets suited up because she doesn't want to have this fight at all. I know that might sound a bit confusing at first, but hear me out. Since Cheetah was originally her friend, Wonder Woman might try to get through to her while making sure that she can absorb most of Cheetah's damage while doing little to none in retaliation. It is still a speculation on my part, but if Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot are adapting the DC Rebirth version of Cheetah's story, then one of the comics' most powerful and unforgettable scene seems an obvious inclusion. The scene begins with Diana seeking Barbara out, and withstanding one attack after the another, requesting Barbara to listen to her and refusing to attack. In the end, it's Barbara who finally gives up, which allows Diana to reach out to her and let her know that nothing has changed, that she is still loved. Since after being transformed into Cheetah, Barbara pretty much considered herself to be some kind of savage monster, and it is Wonder Woman's compassion and love that saves the day for her. And since we saw this theme in the first movie, when Wonder Woman refused to kill that scientist, while the villain Ares patronized her to get the revenge that she needed. So it makes sense that DC would double down on this particular aspect of Wonder Woman. Now in the upcoming movie, Diana donning the armor to simply stand and survive Cheetah's onslaught could offer the kind of CGI spectacle, but it needs to be nicely done, as it was also the most heavily criticized part of the first Wonder Woman movie. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about the movie's subversion of our expectations, when it is revealed that Diana's most glorious armor doesn't grant her more power in a fight, but simply helps her survive long enough for her words and compassion to make a real difference to her former friend. And with that, we'll bring this video to an end. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more upcoming content.